The neon sign outside Maya's bar flickered against the rain-soaked streets of New Singapore Station, a human colony perched on the edge of civilized space. Inside, the warm glow of amber lights reflected off bottles lined behind the counter, and the soft hum of old earth jazz filled the air. Maya wiped down the bar with practiced ease, her dark eyes scanning the nearly empty establishment. It was one of those slow nights where even the regulars stayed home. The door hissed open, letting in a gust of cold air and something else. Something that made every human instinct in Maya's body scream danger. He was massive, easily 8 feet tall, with scales that shimmered between emerald and obsidian. His elongated snout held rows of teeth that could tear through starship hull plating, and wings folded tight against his back scraped against the doorframe as he entered. The Dracari were known throughout the galaxy, warriors, conquerors, a species that had burned entire civilizations to ash before humanity had even discovered fire. The creature moved with deliberate care, his golden eyes downcast, tail dragging behind him. He chose the furthest corner booth, folding himself into a space clearly not designed for his kind. The other patrons, a Zentari merchant and 2 human freight workers, quickly paid their tabs and left. Maya watched him for a moment. She'd seen enough species come through her bar to recognize universal body, language, loneliness, exhaustion, the weight of something unbearable. She grabbed a clean glass and poured 2 fingers of whiskey, a real earth whiskey, the expensive stuff she kept for special occasions. She walked over and set it down in front of him. "On the house," Maya said simply. The dragon's head snapped up, surprise flickering in those molten gold eyes. "I have currency," he rumbled, his voice like distant thunder. "I can pay." "Didn't say you couldn't, but you look like you could use a drink from a friend, not a transaction." Maya shrugged and turned back to the bar. She half expected him to leave, offended by human presumption. Instead, she heard the clink of glass and a long, slow exhale. Hours passed. Maya cleaned glasses, reorganized bottles, and pretended not to notice when the dragon ordered another drink, this time paying, but leaving a tip that was probably worth more than her monthly rent. She didn't comment on it. The word cut through the jazz music. Maya looked up. "Why what? Why show kindness to something you fear?" The dragon's claws drummed against the table. "Your heart rate increased when I entered. You are afraid, yet you served me. You spoke to me as an equal." Maya considered her answer carefully. Fear and respect aren't the same thing. Neither is fear and hatred. She poured herself a small glass and walked back over, sliding into the booth across from him. "You want to know what I learned running a bar on the edge of space? Everyone's fighting something. Doesn't matter if you're human, Zentari, or Drak. We all bleed. We all hurt, and we all need someone to see us as more than what we appear to be." The dragon stared at her for a long moment. Then, impossibly, he laughed, a deep, resonant sound that vibrated through the floor. "More than what we appear to be," he repeated. "How? Human. I'll take that as a compliment. You should." He lifted his glass in a gesture that transcended species. "I am called Rax Maya." She clinked her glass against his. They talked until the artificial dawn began to brighten the colony's main streets. Rax spoke of distances between stars and the burden of decisions. Maya shared stories of Earth, of the terror she'd left behind to build something of her own. Neither asked the other for more than they were willing to give. When Rax finally stood to leave, he paused at the door. "You have given me something unexpected tonight, Maya of Earth. I will not forget it. Come back any time. Next drink's on you, though." His laughter echoed as the door sealed behind him. 3 days later, a Dracari warship descended on New Singapore Station. Not an invasion, a diplomatic vessel, bearing the crimson and gold standards of the Imperial fleet. The station's human administrator nearly had a heart attack when the message came through. Emperor Raxorian, the Eternal, Flame of the 12 Systems, unifier of the Dracari clans, requested an audience with one Maya Chen, proprietor of a bar called The Last Stop. When the Imperial Guard arrived at her establishment, 40 warriors in ceremonial armor, each carrying weapons that could level city blocks. Maya stood behind her bar with her arms crossed, eyebrow raised. Rax entered last, now wearing the formal regalia of his station, a crown of twisted metal sitting between his horns. He looked every inch the emperor who commanded 300 billion subjects across a dozen star systems. "Emperor," Maya said evenly, not bowing. "Didn't know I was serving royalty. Would have charged you double." The Imperial Guard tensed. Rax's eyes sparkled with something that might have been amusement. "I came to honor a debt," he said formally. Then his voice softened. "And to ensure that the one establishment in this entire sector that treated an emperor like a person receives the protection it deserves." He placed a crystal data chip on the bar. Trade agreements, protection, a seat at the diplomatic table for humanity if they want it. Your species has something the galaxy needs to learn. What's that? The courage to show kindness without knowing if it will be returned. Rax bowed his great head, something no Drakari emperor had done before a human. Thank you for the drink, Maya, and for seeing past the dragon to find the person underneath. As the Imperial entourage departed, Maya picked up the data chip and smiled. She'd opened her bar on the edge of space to meet interesting people, to bridge the gaps between stars and species. With nothing more complicated than good drinks and better conversation, she'd never imagined it would change the course of human-alien relations. But then again, she thought as she poured herself a victory whiskey, that was the thing about humanity. They never did think small. Outside, the Drakari Imperial fleet lit up the sky in a formal salute, not to a nation or a government, but to one human who'd bought a lonely dragon a drink. End.